Hello and welcome to OneCricket Fantasy Analysis, powered by Cricket Exchange. आज हम बात करेंगे थर्ड T20I की बिटवीन इंडिया एंड साउथ अफ्रीका. मैं हूँ गार्गी राउत और मेरे साथ है अनुराग दास गुप्ता. 2 T20Is ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं और आज होगा थर्ड T20I. What were the key takeaways और आपको क्या लगता है थर्ड मैच में क्या होगा?
Key takeaways, number one is that both teams have a very weak bowling lineup.
Yes.
Obviously with India, the case is Jasprit Bumrah is out of the World Cup and obviously of the series. So obviously their bowling lineup is weakened. I expected South Africa to perform well, especially with the ball, but the likes of Nokia, Rabada, Parnell have gone for plenty of runs. The only shining light is Keshav Maharaj, who was a touch better than the other bowlers in the last match. But again, another takeaway is skipper Bavuma's form. He's been woefully out of form, has scored ducks in both the games. So maybe like, should he be in the squad? Should he not? This debate will continue, but let's start with the fantasy analysis for the game.
When we talk about fantasy, what wicketkeeper will you go for?
So Gagi, for today's game, I'll go with Quinton de Kock. He scored a 50 odd like in the last game. Still wasn't at his best, but will give you maximum rewards, and he has a good reputation against India. He has done well against India in the past. Yes, he's still not at his best, but I feel he will do well in this game.
But why not pick someone who's doing their best? There's Dinesh Karthik, there's Rishabh Pant.
We can include someone like Rishabh Pant, but it's like, will he get to bat? I'm not sure. Will he play or will he not? When it comes to Dinesh Karthik, the point is Dinesh Karthik is doing really well in the shortest format as of now, but he only gets to bat like 7 balls, 10 balls. Like in the last match, he batted for like 7 balls. He scored 17 runs, but a batsman who's playing at the top of the order will give you maximum rewards as compared to someone who's coming in at number 6, number 7, and who's hardly getting 10 balls to face. That's the only reason why I've gone with QDK.
And that leaves space for more explosive batters in the batting lineup. So what batters are you going for?
I'm going with the combination of 4 batters. Yesterday morning I was planning, and I was doing this changing and chopping of the team, and I had Virat Kohli in my side. But the news broke out that he's been rested, so I obviously had to change my team. I'll go with Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer, David Miller, and I'll also go with Tristan Stubbs. Now hear me out. When we make fantasy teams, we generally, the fantasy users generally go with stats. They look at the stats, the pitch stats and everything. But Gargi, sometimes you just have to leave the stats behind and just have to look at the player. And Suryakumar Yadav is in the form of his life. So just leave the stats behind and include him in the squad. Shreyas Iyer is coming back and I'm sure he'll play. He has a lot to prove. He did well in the West Indies, was obviously out of the side for the Australia series and this series. But he has a point to prove and I feel he will do well.
He deserves this chance because jitne bhi inko chances mile, he has performed.
Yes.
And he has been consistent. So I think Shreyas Iyer will be a good pick for this one.
Yes. Now talking about David Miller, I guess he needs no introduction. Let us talk about his exploits in the last game, Gargi. He was fantastic.
Yes.
And obviously Killer Miller has to be in your side for what he has done in the last game. Tristan Stubbs is perhaps a risky buy. He failed in the first match, didn't get to bat in the second one. But I think the young lad has a point to prove, just like Shreyas Iyer. And if he gets a chance, I feel he will do really well. So these are my 4 batters.
Talking about batters, one question to you. Why did you leave out Reza Hendricks?
A very interesting question, and a question which is very tough to answer. You know how the South African system works.
Right.
So I wanted Reza Hendricks to play in place of Bavuma. Let's be honest, Bavuma, a terrific red ball player, but he is not your T20I player, and he's your captain. You can't leave him out, especially with the World Cup coming up. I wanted to replace him with Temba Bavuma, like replacement. Like obviously, you know how the South African system works. But that's not possible. So, I generally feel that they won't replace him with any other player. Maybe Rilee Rossouw will be dropped, I'm not sure. But I wanted to include, but there are certain reasons why I haven't. So I still will back someone like a Tristan Stubbs to come good in this match.
Okay. And when we talk about all-rounders, who are your picks?
I'll go with the set of 2 all-rounders. Aksar Patel and Makram. Aksar Patel was expensive in the last match, but I still feel that it was an off day, off day for him. He will come back good in this match, I feel, and he will give you at least 2 wickets. He's done well recently against Australia, and I feel he will get you 2 wickets. Just sometimes you have to go by the gut, and this is my gut feeling. Aiden Makram was just bowled a single over in the last match, but scored 30 odd runs in the previous match. So I think the combination of both will do wonders if you pick them.
Okay. Bowlers, अब देख रहे जसप्रीत बुमराह is out. What are your picks when it comes to bowlers? क्योंकि right now not a lot of Indian bowlers are doing well. Neither are South African bowlers. The series I think has been a very batting dominated series so far. Do you think that will change in the third T20I? या फिर what bowlers are you placing your hopes on?
You know, selecting bowlers for this match was the toughest task I have ever had. Why? Because the bowlers from both the teams went for runs in the previous match.
Of course.
The likes of the great guns, the likes of Enric Nokia, someone like Harshil Patel, Deepak Chahar, everyone, Arshdeep Singh, everyone went for runs. So choosing bowlers was a difficult task, as I beg your pardon. But I'll still go with someone like a Deepak Chahar, another bowler who had an off day, but was superb in the first match when India won the game. He will come back stronger, and I feel. My second bowler is Harshil Patel. I'll go with Yuzvendra Chahal. Why? Because I feel he will replace Ravi Ashwin. Ravi Ashwin is more of a defensive bowler. He is a red ball legend. Terrific bowler in Test match cricket, but he is still to find a place in the T20I side. I feel he's a defensive kind of a bowler, and we need someone who needs to take wickets, and Yuzvendra Chahal is that kind of a bowler. He will go for runs, maybe a 30 odd or 40 odd runs, but he will at least give you 2 wickets, and that's what you want in T20Is. You want wickets. Enric Nokia, another bowler who had an off day, but someone who can bowl 145 plus, can obviously trouble the Indian top order at the top. He will be my fourth pick.
I think this is not about off days. This is more about what kind of a pitch it was, what kind of the match situation was at that time, because obviously the batters are doing well, and it was a new soil in Guwahati. The ball was coming onto the bat. So I don't think any of the bowlers had a off day. I think it was just how the pitch behaved that day, that the batters were having ease with the ball.
You know, someone like it's like sometimes you need to use your skills, and this is where the skills come in place. You look like someone like Harshil Patel, who has a brilliant off-cutter. He didn't use it much. Or maybe he was using it repeatedly, so the batsman already knew that he's going to use the off-cutters. This is where skill set comes in, and I feel both the bowlers from both the teams were lacking it. So they need to bring their A game.
Yes.
Especially, I feel the pitch in Indore will also be flat. And again, I'm expecting a high-scoring game, but I'm expecting these bowlers to fire up. Just my gut feeling.
You don't think it's going to be a batting-heavy game?
I still feel we'll score. The batting first team will score above 200. It's going to be a high-scoring game. The last time a T20I game took place, if I'm not wrong, 260 odd was scored by India. It was the highest T20I score. Again, not expecting 260 odd today, but somewhere close to like 200, 220. So expect a high-scoring game and expect batters to have a run feast here.
And who will be your captains?
Difficult choice, but I'll go with Surya Kumar Yadav.
Okay.
Someone who's like eat, sleep, get up, score a 50 repeat. He will be my captain for the side, and expect him to score runs and get maximum rewards. Now my vice captain, a very tricky choice, but I'll go with Aiden Makram.
Okay.
Can give you wickets on his good day. Obviously can score truckloads of runs. So he's going to be my vice captain for the day.
Why not someone safe like David Miller or de Kock?
You know, the problem with David Miller is he blows hot and cold. He's not a consistent batter. He's not someone like a Virat Kohli or Surya Kumar Yadav who will score runs on a consistent basis. So right now he scored 100 in the previous game. Maybe he'll score 30, 40 odd runs, but maybe not expect him to score 50, 60 runs.
Okay.
So that's the only reason which is stopping me from having as a vice captain.
Okay. Now that we've talked about your fantasy picks, what do you think will be the possible 11?
So, Gargi, the possible 11 for India, because KL Rahul is rested and there's obviously Virat Kohli rested, so the combination has to be tweaked a little bit. So, I'll go with an interesting choice, but this can pay off in the long run. Rishabh Pant to open alongside Rohit Sharma, left-right combination.
Okay.
Pant has opened previously. Shreyas Iyer at number 3, Surya Kumar Yadav at 4, there's Dinesh Karthik at 5, and a new inclusion is Shahbaz Ahmed. You don't have a batter in the squad. Shahbaz Ahmed has done well for RCB, can be that all-rounder. And Aksar Patel at 7. There's Harshil Patel, followed by Yuzvendra Chahal, Arshdeep, and Mohammad Siraj. I'm expecting Siraj to play with no Bumrah there. India lacking that depth in the bowling. No Shami. Expecting Siraj to play the game.
Okay.
So now, coming to South Africa's possible 11, I feel they'll go with the same squad. Generally, South Africans don't change and chop too much, unlike the Indian side. So I feel they'll go with again Quinton de Kock and Temba Bavuma. But obviously, I'm still unsure about Bavuma, but he will play. He's the captain. You don't have a choice left. There's Rilee Rossouw, another player underperforming, but he'll play at number 3. Aiden Makram at 4. There's obviously Killer Miller, David Miller at 5. The newcomer Tristan Stubbs, Wayne Parnell, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi Engidi, Andrik Nokia and Rabada. So you have a power-packed bowling attack. If the batting comes to life, they will certainly test this Indian side.
Okay. That concludes our fantasy analysis. Keep watching and subscribe to the channel OneCricket.